Hi, and welcome everybody, and welcome my precious sister Karine, all the way from Arizona, and myself from Rhodes right now in Greece. So if
That's
I'm
right.
looking sweaty, that is why. Okay.
Right with you, sister. I'm in Arizona.
So we have a very intriguing topic to talk about today, and it's Wednesday, July 16th in US and Europe, and Thursday, July 17th in Australia. I haven't said that for a couple of weeks, but I'm stating it now. So it's going to be very early AM if you are in Australia. But anyway, anybody, all people are welcome, and you can also watch the replay. We would love for you actually to interact with us, and we are going to end this conversation today with a few questions to ponder about.
Hmm.
So stay until the end, right? Um, doing a little homework, thinking about stuff, reflecting.
Hmm.
Sorry for my voice. Today we're going to talk about cycle of souls, unraveling the mystery of reincarnation and our continuous return here,
Yeah.
incarnated as human beings, right? As souls with a human body, you could say that. And once again, welcome to Cosmic Sis-Stars show with myself, Anne, and my beautiful, precious sister, Kareem. And this show is going to be a journey through time, space, and the sacred rhythm of existence. In this podcast, we open the door to one of humanity's deepest and most enduring questions. What happens after we die? But we don't stop there. We trace the arc of rebirth, diving into the ancient wisdom of reincarnation, spiritual philosophies from around the world, and modern stories that defy explanation, from the chants of Tibetan monks to the whispers of past life memories echoed in children's voices. We explore the idea that our souls are on a looping voyage, learning, evolving, returning. But we're also going to dig into the question, do we really have to? Do we have a choice here? Right? That's intriguing too. So stay tuned. And all of this is not just a metaphysical mystery, it's also a deeply personal journey for each and every one of us, right? Because we are all affected. This is something we cannot really escape because we came here and we have to exit at some point, right?
Yes.
So why do we feel in I can't say the word, sorry, inexplicably drawn to certain people, places, or eras? What's the story behind that? Could our souls be carrying tales of lifetimes long forgotten? Is it reincarnation as a timeline, or is it reincarnation, maybe incarnations in multiple dimensions at the same time? Right? That's also intriguing to think about. So let's begin the cycle again.
Wow. Wow. I tell you, it's amazing. I never realized that when the two of us got together, we could conjure up all of these interesting conversations because these are things that I've asked myself, but I've had no one to go ask. So I've just played with them. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever
Yes,
said to yourself, who am I?
yes,
Where am I?
yes,
What am I? Why am I?
yeah,
And when am I? And all of these all can be with the incarnation because where you're incarnating, what you are incarnating as, I mean, these are all even bigger questions that we may get into, but I'm sure there's been times, and I found typo here as I'm reading through this, my late night put it together. I'm sure we've pondered this question many times, but a lot of times you just go, "Oh, I guess I don't know, and I'll try another day," because it's not really pressing upon it. But when we
Mm.
run into people and things that remind us of another time, or you just feel so comfortable, like I felt so comfortable in Peru and in Hawaii. I didn't feel that connection when I was in India. So have I spent time there? Is there a memory that is deeper than just reading about it? And this is what causes you to start wondering if and when and why and how. And I think it's something to really look into.
I think it really is. And I had a few things happen in my life too. I probably have more than I remember because at a certain point it becomes so much that you need to go back and read your notes. But I know, for instance, and I can swear on this one, uh, but my dad and my grandma said that I've never been there, that I was 10 years of age the first time because my grandmother from my on my dad's side, she's from an island. It belongs to Finland, but it's not Finnish. They have their own government and stuff. It's like a tourist island in Sweden, and you can take the boat going there, walking around a little bit and going back. And some people just remain on the boat. But I have roots there, so I spent a lot of time when I was a child. And I had no, my grandmother had a rich brother, and he was owning a lot of ships. I don't know what you call that person in English when you have a company where you own ships and stuff, right? And he had his own island, a small island, within the
Convenient.
bigger island, because outside there are lots of small islands as well. So he had his own. And I had so strong memories. And I said to both my dad and my grandmother, I've been here. No, you've never been here. Well, I know. And if we go down close to the water, there was a little house right beside the water, a tiny one. And I said, I know what's in there. I've been here. No, you've never been here. But I can swear I've been here. you know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's intriguing. And another intriguing story for me was because these things came to me through meditation and I saw them in dreams, very vivid dreams. It sounds maybe horrible, but I'm not afraid for it because it's just something that came, right? But I
Hmm.
saw myself on a piece of land and it feels connected to the Mediterranean area. It may actually even be here in Rhodes.
Yes.
And I saw myself being shot in the back. That sounds horrible, right? I could
Hey,
feel
we had lives.
how it, yeah, I could feel how it feels to be shot in the back, but it was without pain. So a little bit weird as well, right? But I remember so many details. And many years later, because here in Rhodes, actually, the Italians were for 30, 40 years in the beginning of
Really?
the 1900s. Yeah, they were.
Oh.
And I talked to Sue, which I had the Soul Sister show with, right, on Blog Talk Radio.
Hmm.
And she mentioned, no, I hadn't told her anything. She mentioned something to me, and she said, well, I know I had a life where I was in the Mediterranean area, and there was a war. And I said, oh, you shot me. And we ended up laughing, and I said, that's forgiven, right?
Yeah.
Because in a war also we are maybe not, we go with the people we stem from, if that makes
Familiar.
sense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a familiar feeling, and I mean, I do not know and may never know what our connection has been cosmically or earthly, but I know that we would not have just been able to just say hello and start up if we had not already built this relationship at some other time. So it is very, very real that these things do occur. And it's a wonderful thing when you recognize somebody that you have that familiarity with. Where you get confused is when you try to figure it out and try to rectify it and try to justify it and throw all these other pieces of stuff in when you could just enjoy it. Just go, wow, this is an experience instead of taking it apart. Sometimes it's very difficult, especially when people are just getting new, that are coming into this and they want to know everything about it. And I go, you're going to dissect it. There's not going to be anything left. Just
No,
enjoy and go with the flow. And
my take on that is that if something that we have repeatedly experienced in a past life that may still traumatize us somehow or affect us in this life, preventing us from doing things, then it's good to understand it. But it's not really um, something of value to know flashy past lifetimes, or I've been Cleopatra, or I've been the king of Persia, or I've been
yeah,
Heracles from Greece, right? It doesn't really add anything.
yeah. It's amazing. Nobody goes around saying, well, I was a mudslugger in Rome and I helped build the Colosseum. Nobody brags about that. It's like, well, without the people that build and the people that clean, and I still, every time I see someone cleaning a bathroom or a room where I'm going into, I always stop and thank them.
Yeah,
It's a very thankless job, and I appreciate when I go into these places that someone has taken the time to do it. And I think that every creature needs to be recognized and appreciated for whatever little thing they are doing and taking that time. But that's another story. Uh, as I've been pondering through this on Gaia, I love to watch Gaia. They have some very interesting speakers, and this young man literally can remember his time of being just pure consciousness, pure
yeah,
soul. And
yeah,
the way that he described it is we are all in this orb, for lack of a different things. There's no real experiencing because it's just pure consciousness. But we have access. It's like being in a library and having access to, oh, on Earth, they have cats and dogs and people and raccoons and trees and alligators and all of these things. And on Mars, they are experiencing this, and this. And on Pluto, they're doing this, and this. They have all of this infinite knowledge right there where they can read it and absorb it,
yes,
but they are not experiencing it. So they choose to have that visceral experience. I'm going to go and I'm going to incarnate a couple of times on the planet Earth and see what it feels like. Listen to what I hear. And isn't that a wonderful way of looking at it rather than, well, you were a bad person and now you're going to come back as the person that's being tortured and this is your karma and everything else, and it's punishment, punishment, or if you're really, really good, you might get a higher status. Wouldn't it be wonderful to think of it as, wow, I think today I'm going to be a rosebud and feel what that feels
Yes,
like, instead
exactly.
of, oh man, I came and I was really bad to that person, and now I'm going to come back and they're going to be beating up me on me for 10,000 generations. Let's evolve. Let's let our consciousness move to a greater extent, instead of just being that rotating back around through the same cycle. And it gave me, I think, when I listened to this young man and listened to all the great possibilities and the ability to be able to advance in understanding love, I thought, hey, think I'm going to listen to this guy for a while and try it out, rather than, you know, the other way. And and I think when you're intelligent enough to look at something and try it on for a while, you don't have to always wear it, but it might fit for a little while.
Exactly. And it's so intriguing. And I think also that the concept of reincarnation and coming back, it's so old, it's ancient, right?
Yeah.
Um, it stands for belief in the soul's rebirth into new bodies and has fascinated all of us for millennia, right? So I actually learned that it's nice when we talk about things because you have to study a little bit and you have to read.
Yes, you
And I
do.
like that. So, for instance, in the historical tapestry of reincarnation theories is rich and very, very varied. It depends on where um, it is a belief as well, right? So in
Right.
ancient Egypt, for instance, the emphasis was on the journey of the soul through the underworld and its eventual reunification with the divine.
Mm-hmm.
Greek philosophers, how fitting, because I am in Greece, right? Greek philosophers like um, Pythagoras and Plato, I'm saying it in Greek, sorry,
That's beautiful.
explored explored metamorphosis,
Me-
metempsychosis in
yes,
English, I think they say. Trans-
metamorphosis. We
yeah,
just say metamorphosis. Yeah, changing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
The transmigration of souls as a means of purification and intellectual development. And across Asia, the integrate doctrines of karma and samsara, the cycle of rebirth, are central to the spiritual fabric of billions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in the times we are living in, of course, when you're interested in something, you can't resist reading about it. You can't resist picking up, and then
Yeah.
you have to have some time, quite sometimes years, to digest, to dig into it, to feel what do I get from this? Because I think that all of these are everything are puzzle pieces to what's really going on, right?
Yes.
And then we have near death experiences as well, right?
Those are very different. Yeah, but those are very real. Yeah.
Mhm.
But when you stop and think of it, um, if you've got a whole bunch of people that you're trying to kind of um, guide lovingly, but then you find that you have some of these rebels that are going out and doing other things. Wouldn't it be nice to have some kind of a philosophy that would scare the patooties out of them and keep them in line? I mean, the Christians have it. Don't do that, or God is going to come down and bear His wrath on you. Uh,
Yeah,
the Hindus and the East have it. if you do that, karma's going to come back and keep you, and then you're going to be in this cycle of uh, of pain and terrible, and you're never going to get out of that cycle. So when you start looking at it, that it was a very wonderful thing to help us understand, but then it became a tool for controlling. You have to do this, or you have to do this, or.
Yeah.
And I think we are moving out of that have to do or stage
Yeah.
into let us evolve and see how this is going to be. So each time that I have an experience, I'm going to fall deeper and deeper in love with myself. I'm going to fall deeper and deeper in love with the world. I'm going to have more empathy. I'm going to be able, and rather than I've got to go back and learn this because I had a bad thought about that person, and if I could, I probably would have, hit him over the head or something.
Yeah.
But rather than doing that, that's the Catholic confession type thing. And
Yeah.
okay, now somebody greater is telling you that, okay, don't go do it again and do this much for your punishment. Let's get out of that punishment. Let's get out of not needing to be punished.
Exactly. It's not about punishment or reward. There's
No.
no such a thing. And by the way, and this is my belief, that our soul is already perfect and complete. But what
Oh, it
happens
is.
here, we come into this dense energy reality, incarnating here, and it's very rare. I think it's more common these days, to be honest, that people do remember things, right? But it's
Yeah.
rare to remember details from the other side and where we come from, which I refer to as our home. So this is only traveling somewhere. For us, it's a lifetime. If you think from the other side, it's just like going somewhere for a couple of weeks or a month or something, right?
Right. Yeah.
But also, I like what you said about the punishments and things, and I think that most religions hold that in one way or the other. So, for instance, if in Asia, if you behave bad, if I'm a bad person, I'm going to come back as a fly next time. No, I don't intend to do that. um, and it's a way of keeping people, and it probably worked 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, even long
Hmm.
before that, right? To manage people before they had societies like we have, but we don't need that anymore,
Yeah.
and we are stepping outside of it too. It's like breaking free, right?
Hmm. And it's interesting because a lot of the generational concepts and the family concepts that people have just been run and run and run and run again. Okay, we're not going to like these people because they're a different color, and this is the way we did it forever, so you have to learn to not trust these people, and you have to live this way. And we are moving. Let me rephrase this. These people are not aware that they are perpetrating the same thought pattern generation after generation after generation. And they don't realize that when we come in as this new soul and we've got all these new ideas, and then we're hit with this, well, you've got to do it this way, this way, this way.
Yeah.
Two wonderful situations. A child comes in and they're dealt with this kind of an environment, and they're going to have to wait a while until they start seeing that this isn't working for them, and then move away. And the beauty is there are more and more souls that are coming into incarnated parents that are aware, and they come in and they're able to discuss these things, and they're able to say to their mother, well, I remember when you and I were brother and sister,
yeah,
and we did this, and the parents listen. When my youngest child was telling me how she remembered when she was in a different place, I didn't put her down or said that was imaginary. I listened to her. I talked with her. I encouraged her to
yeah,
allow that to be part of her reality. And
yeah.
I'm beginning to see this happening much more than it did before, where these young people are encouraged to speak about their experiences, because we have as much to gain listening to them and remembering as
Yes,
they do in the remembering. So it's beautiful to watch the evolution as we are coming from the rigid and moving into the fluid,
yeah,
and no longer that it has to be this way and no other way. The old
exactly.
expression, my
Yeah,
way or the
because
highway.
exactly, because we have been taught so many things, right? So we are shaped what we are supposed to think, believe, everything, right? And the spiritual journey is all about stepping outside of that, or at least question, because that's what we do. We
Yes,
know there's something else going on, but we need to also figure out the way. And it's interesting because what are coming to the surface, and it's not only one person's perception, it's many, right? Things are coming up to the surface that are telling us, like, if I have a certain belief that I gained from my experience, not from what I have been taught, and I hear someone talk about that, that's a confirmation, and that is beautiful.
yes,
And we
and
share so many things.
this is it. And I think when you and I began this journey, at least for me, I know what has evolved is I'm finding that all of the questions and all of the um, whys are being answered, because as we answer these questions, it is giving me an opportunity to explore things from a different perspective, and and being in a safe place where I can do this. And this is why this has been so exciting for me to be able to participate in this journey and watching myself evolve. And one of the things that we stress in so many of our little get togethers is finding your authentic self, being true to your higher self, listening,
Yeah,
observing, and having the courage to, you don't have to go out and say, I'm not going to do this because you all are wrong. It's just going, ah, that was
yeah,
interesting, but I think I'm going to go this way. Uh,
exactly. And I love what you said in the beginning, your little mini poem. Who am I?
right.
Where am I? What am I? Why am I? When am I?
Yeah. And
You
that's
know,
especially when you
go
do a
ahead.
lot of interdimensional uh, work. Okay. Where am I now? you know, but when
Exactly.
am I? Oh, well, I'm in, 4,976. Okay. And then you go to the, why am I here? It's like, oh, another journey, another adventure. Yes.
Yeah, and something else that we can say, because children, when first of all, it takes actually a few weeks for the soul to be seated in the human body, and maybe people don't really know that. It's also the same when we transition over to the other side. It takes a little
Yes.
bit of time. to adjust. Even if we come back home, it takes time. We see it as time, but on the other side, it's just is, right?
Hmm.
And young people and children, many of those who come in awakened already, remembering a lot of things, they have a very special um, attention they are putting into daily life. They remember so many things, even from a small age, even from daily life here, right?
Yeah.
Because they are already the soul is already awakened, right? So they observe and see things.
Yes. Yes. When
Have
I
you noticed that?
Yes, and very much so. And uh, throughout my journey raising my children, and not realizing until after my children were grown that I was different, uh, and to their benefit, because they were able to explore their own realities and their own souls. I don't mean I gave them carte blanche to do anything they wanted. No, there has to be discipline. There has to be discipline in anything, or things would not be come to a completion. But there has to be love, and there has to be understanding, and there has to be allowance for that to be moving around until it finds its place. And as I got more and more aware of energy, of indigos, of the different things that we're feeling, I had a young man come up to me after I had given a talk, and he said, "If you had been my mother, it would have been so much easier to be here."
Yeah,
And so at that time, I started making myself available to indigos and to empaths, to people that were learning about themselves, and they had no place to go. Because I remember how lonesome it was for me, and how I had to really just stick with something until I could find a rhyme or a reason. And it would have been wonderful to have somebody that I could, cuddle up to and say, "Well, I'm having a bad day today. Can you help me?" And they say, "It's okay. You came here to have some good days and bad days, but you're strong and you can do it." And that would have been great. So I try to do that for the souls that are coming out now.
yeah. But it's actually fantastic if you think of it, because we've been here quite some time, both of us, right? To see the difference, and I love to see the difference.
Yeah.
We are progressing, and I think that a lot of people are questioning things that used to be this is how it is, right?
Mhm.
And that's perfect. It's exactly what we need to do, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. In mainstream, you're hearing words like frequency and vibration, and a lot of times maybe they're not as correct as they could be if they were more metaphysical, but at least they're using them. At least they're realizing that something is out there. And when I use the expression outside of ourselves, we really have to be inside ourselves to be able to see. What we're saying is the things that we were taught. We're going beyond the limitation of those to the
Yeah,
outside of those. We're not having to go out of ourselves to be this powerful person, because we already are. But we do have to
exactly.
move through the muck and the mire, and the shields that people put around us. That's what we're going through to get to the outside. But first, we have to have that strength on the inside, and then we go, we're coming through.
but we haven't really been taught that, and it's still not taught, for instance, in school. It's still not taught. I say very generally, it's a few families that probably do that, but they are not um, very common, probably. But it's increasing, and I love that because the old way of seeing things, that is like placing ourselves, seeing only what's going on out there and making us feel that we are victims, right?
Yes.
But we
And
are so powerful that we can create anything. And I rarely promise anything, but that I can promise
yeah,
because we can. Mm.
it's interesting. Decided to take a spa day and go visit the hospital for a couple hours. And uh, and whilst I was there, the young woman that was checking me in, once she found out what I did, spent 45 minutes talking with me. I needed to speak to somebody like you. I've got to have your phone number. Can I have your stuff and everything else? And I laughed and I said, so I needed to have this experience so you would be able to we would be able to meet. So is this how I played into this? I was laughingly saying that. But however, the universe realized that I was going to have to take this little detour and slow down a few minutes. And that young woman told me that she was not even scheduled for that day. Now that
Oh, wow.
is the
Think,
synchronicity.
yes.
She didn't need to see me, so she created me getting sick. That was not what happened. However, the fact that I needed to have that experience, and that's the way I use it. I don't know why I needed that experience, but I did it. Now I know what it feels like. Thank you very much. And but it put me in a place, and I could have gone to any hospital anywhere. But for us to meet there at that time and for it to be actually quiet so she would be able to stay in and talk to me for that period of time, those were things that you couldn't have planned those, other than the
No.
universe saying these two people are going to meet and this is how it's going to happen. So
Yeah. And our life is full of signs, full of synchronicities, full of guidance, full of all these wonderful meetings, but we need to dare and we need to take them for what they are and
Mhm.
trying to stay out of our mind, because a lot of people, they come to that place when, okay, why did I meet that person? What's going to happen now? Right? And it's a human thing to do that, but work on that part. Try to take yourself out from that and just be in the experience
yeah,
and see the synchronicity.
and you don't have to go back and find it. The only reason I bring it up is because we're teaching about these things. And this is a
Yes,
good opportunity to say, yes, this really does happen, and and
it
um,
does.
and embrace it. But there again, I invite you to go, oh, but you don't have to go, well, I've got to figure this out, and why did this, and who is that, and what if, and because then you lose sight of the greatness of the gift that's been given. And
Yeah, exactly.
you know
I think we are coming to the juicy part of our conversation. I like this one.
oh,
Um,
something tells me.
yes, reincarnation and free will.
Mm.
Do we have a voluntary return? Do we have to come in here? Do we have a choice?
Well, if I had grown up in other philosophies, I would have said no, we didn't have a choice. other than try to be really, really good so we didn't come back as a cockroach. Um, and not be too good, because then they would say, well, you're getting too rich and too important, so now we're going to let you feel what it's like to be dirt poor. So because I have moved beyond that, the balance of, well, you have to this and you have to that in order to have that balanced life, I would rather find my balance elsewhere. And
Yeah,
I really, in my gut, in my knowing, for me personally, I know that I have a choice into where I want to go, and and that has been validated by the fact that when I've had conversations with higher energies and was asking about that, and I was told that um, the reason that I don't really feel familiar with Earth is I have only incarnated about 10% of my lifetimes on the Earth plane, which means that 90% of all my other incarnations have been on other planets in other dimensions. So I love bouncing around. They
yeah,
did say that my soul loves, enjoys, thrives on showing up when the indigenous population is ready to go through a huge evolutionary jump. Now, immediately my mind goes to, ah, there's a lot of chaos that goes on when you do those types of things. And I love my comfort. I enjoy being the right temperature. I enjoy sleeping in my comfy bed. And I said, but I'm a creature of comfort. Why would I choose to show up when it's going to be, hell and brimstone? And they
yeah.
lovingly laughed and said, but your soul thrives when it's in that role. And I go, it's time to
Yeah.
check my contract.
The
But
the
it's
fine part, right?
but it's still voluntary. It's
Yeah.
still voluntary. I'm not pushed into this. I am compelled to do this when that is about to happen on whatever planet I'm going to. And I show up and go through it with you guys. What can I say?
You know, my take on that is also like you. I used to go, no, I rephrase that. I used to be confused many years ago because listening to all these different
Yeah.
ways of this is how it's explained. And I came to the conclusion, okay, but everybody says we have free will. Hmm? So if I'm forced to do something, where's my free will? It doesn't line up for
Yes.
me, right? I think that it's a matter of, um, it's not a reward or punishment. It's a matter of awareness. So if I hold myself in the old ways I mean, belief systems, where I fully believe that I don't have a choice. Yeah, well, my that's what I
Choice.
did choose to believe, a choice, right?
Exactly.
So, but I strongly believe that none of us really has to come back here if we would say no.
Right.
And because it's like what we talked about before. Um, it's the concept of reincarnation often evokes images of an endless cosmic treadmill, a predetermined cycle from which escape seems not possible, right? Impossible. And also the belief that this life depends on what I did in my past life before this one, right? And
Yeah.
my next one is going to be determined from this one. No, because that's when free will is off, is out the window. Um, and it doesn't really resonate because we do have free will. We have so many universal laws. Maybe laws sound a little bit harsh, but they are called universal laws, right?
Mhm.
But we have also the free will. So no one can, when we are tenacious enough to say, nope, not buying into that anymore,
Yeah.
because I know now that is the freedom we can receive at that point, right? And
Yes.
because we can't usually see what's going to happen when we transition over to the other side, that part is, a lot of people feel confident about it. They've seen things, they may have experienced things. They may feel like, oh gosh, I'm not afraid, I'm going to go back home. Um, but those who don't see, there's a fear connected, because it's unknown, right?
Mhm.
But there is no such a thing as, um, for instance, when we talk about karma, for many people, that is reward and punishment, right? I'm going to be
Mhm.
punished for what I did. You could take that back to Christian religion as well and say that you did something that is considered by someone, different things during different times, that are stating that that is a sin. Says who, right? If I don't do anything bad against you, for instance, if I don't hurt you consciously, I don't mean people make mistakes, because we make bad mistakes sometimes without wanting to. That's different. But it's not. We will, the universal laws will bring it back. It's, you could say, karma, cause and effect, right? Or choices and consequences. So I make a choice, and that the energy of that choice is going to bring me something back, but it's not a punishment, neither reward, right?
Mhm. Uh,
Does it make sense?
yes, because being trapped in that kind of a mindset is is being trapped. It's being trapped in the programs that you learn as a child, that I have to do this because everybody else did this, or I have to stay married in a bad situation because I said I would stay married in that situation. And when there is, it's not for your highest good. It's different when it's just, I don't like them, they left the toothpaste off and stuff like that. There's petty, and then there's real. And we're talking about when a person has a real dilemma to move beyond something. But it's cyclical, and if you're trapped in a cycle of, I can't move out of this because if I do, then I'll have to start the cycle all over again. And I'm a little better in the cycle than I was before. But how do you know? Because when you die, you forget, and you come back and you forget. So, I mean, how do you, how
I
can
know.
you, unless you go into the Akashic records, which are supposed to be records that are kept on every single thought, feeling, and emotion that we've ever had, and somebody has to keep those records. But doesn't that also say that I'm watching every move you make, so you really are not free to make a mistake?
Yeah,
So,
we are, because we learn something from our mistakes as well. If everything would be flowing, because as species, we are a little bit convenient, aren't we? So if everything was flowing, we wouldn't have to make an effort for anything, would we?
exactly. So we are. experiencing things. We are experiencing how to be uh, more courageous, how to be more joyful, how to be. We are learning. It's not just a matter of everything is going to go our way. We have to have the ebb and the flow in order for there to be movement. There can't be movement without an up and a down. Otherwise, it's just stagnant. But when we strap on the fear and the punishment and the have to and the because that's what we do in this family and blood is thicker than water and this is what the church did forever and ever, you can't question it. This is when I start asking people to reevaluate whether this is something that they're doing out of love or they're just doing it out of complacency. And,
Yeah.
you know, we didn't come here to be complacent. We came here to bring the best we could to what's around us, and just falling in the pattern is not going
Um,
to change anything.
those who have the perception that we can pick and choose and we don't have to come back here, we have our free will. I think it's only a matter of perception, right? How we perceive things. And the spiritual journey and the spiritual path is all about questioning what you have been taught. Does it align with you really? Is it giving you something? Is it adding to you or is it restricting you, right?
Exactly.
Mm.
So I really, from my perspective and from my experiences that I've had, I am going to embrace that there is not this horrible pendulum swinging like this that's going to get me if I've you know done something that I could have done better and I didn't, or because I'm also having this human experience. I am learning as I go, just like everyone else. I happen to have a lot more band-aids in my box that I can fix things as I go along, maybe because I am a healer, but I still have to I still choose to have that experience. And that's my
Yeah,
choice. And
yeah.
I think that it's, you know, and I'm looking here and you have written questions again, teacher. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, I did. I did. Can I just read something um, for everybody to hear first, and then we can go to the questions?
Absolutely.
Ultimately, the relationship between reincarnation and free will presents a compelling philosophical inquiry, right? If we embrace the notion that our return is a voluntary act undertaken for our own spiritual development, then the cycle of souls transforms from a potential burden into a magnificent opportunity. So it changes, right? It depends. It's a
Wow.
matter of perception here, too. It empowers us to view each life as a precious gift, a chance to exercise our free will, to learn, to grow, and to consciously navigate our conscious journey of awakening. The
Yes.
universe does not compel us so much as it invites us to participate in its grand evolutionary dance.
Beautiful. I mean, how well, there is no better way that you could have said that. That we are participants. We aren't just, you know, a leaf on the water just being batted around. We came here. We were that leaf first. We nourished that tree. We allowed that tree to become the biggest, bestest tree it could be. And then when it was time for us to go, then we fell on the water. And in that water we will be moved, and we may end up at a beaver's nest, and maybe we will be nourishment for the little bugs in there that will help the environment. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, but we are part of it. We are not just, uh, we are participants. We are not
Yes,
pawns.
exactly. And we need to own our personal power there and
Yep.
acknowledge that we are not pawns, we are participants, and we are standing in our full power. So, questions. You like questions, right?
Uh,
So, have you ever experienced a moment of deja vu or an unexplainable connection to person or place? Could it be tied to past life?
I think we kind of touched on that. And I really believe that when people bump into what they refer to as their soulmate or something like that, that they feel attracted to that person, or they feel that they have known that person before, like you and I, we have never physically met. But over the course of the time, the universe has put us back together. And
Yes.
I feel, I'm only talking from my experience, I'm not talking from your experience, but I feel that being with you is so easy because we understand each other on a very higher level, which to me means that at some time we had an opportunity to kind of form a relationship, kind of
Yes.
work the ups and the downs out of it, so we mesh very easily. And
Yeah, we do.
even when we come into a situation where they're a normal person would get bent out of shape, we use our tools and we renavigate so we can come to a greater understanding. So I really feel that yes, we meet people and have experiences with these people, and it is so much greater than someone else. I really feel that we have formed some kind of relationship with these people before, and it
Yes.
makes it a little easier, sometimes harder, but mostly
Yes.
easier when we meet them, and you're just drawn to them because you feel so familiar.
You feel familiar and you feel the energy, and I feel the exact same for you. It's like, yay, I found her across the globe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
just wandering
it,
around.
yeah, like you, I don't use all these words, the terminology for, soulmates, twin flames, all of that,
Right,
because I name them as soul connection, and we have a different energy with each soul we are connected to. And
exactly.
basically, that means that we have had here or in other dimensions or other places in the universe, we
Right.
have had a lot of connection and relationship with each other. And you are my cosmic sister. I know that
Yes.
for a fact.
Yeah.
So, yeah, next question. What does the concept of reincarnation mean to you personally? Does it bring comfort, curiosity, or skepticism?
Well, there again, evolution. When I first understood about it and was accepting it in the way that it was kind of given, I looked at it and I thought, well, maybe that's true. Maybe this lifetime I am here to correct some of the things that I didn't do correctly. I do have feelings now and then that in some of my lifetimes, one, maybe more, that I was a person of great power. And I have
Yes,
this feeling that I abused it. And I think in this lifetime, I have worked diligently to embrace the power, but not abuse the power. So, in a way, I am having a sensation that is guiding me, but it's not that, well, I've got to get it right this time because I don't want to have to do this again. That's the philosophy. Rather
Yeah,
than saying, okay, well, this is a tool I'm going to use, and it has guided me, but it is not overwhelming me. It is not driving me. It is not controlling me and saying, well, you were a terrible person and now you got to make up for it. So you're just going to go out and you're going to work in the with all the poor people, and you're just going to suffer, and you're going to, wear ragged clothes, and you're going to be a bum and everything else. No, I don't feel that I have to do that in order to compensate for having had that other experience.
yeah. And just as we talk about these questions, everybody of you's watching this, take the questions and ponder upon them,
Yes,
and write it down somewhere, and then forget about it, and then you can return to it, and you can feel,
right.
okay, did I learn anything deeper about this thing? Because there are deep questions, and our intention and willingness to dig and to understand and uncover, remember who we are, uh, that is enough.
Or give us a
So with
call.
time, yeah,
Make contact. That's We both came here to be of assistance to people making this journey. So
yes,
please call. Give us a jingle. That doesn't mean
yes,
we're completely 100% right, but we're going to give you something to think about, and we might give you the edge to go to something different. That's all we're doing, is holding the light.
exactly. And helping to maybe open a little door. Here, if you want
Exactly.
to walk into it, go do it. Okay. So,
Correct.
next question. If your soul is on a conscious journey, what lessons do you think you are meant to learn in this lifetime?
Well, I'm going to ask you that one. What do you think you're meant to learn this lifetime?
I think that a few things, to be honest. Don't think I actually did pick the easiest journey. But I like, just like you, I like a challenge, and I like to try to navigate through things.
Right.
First of all, to be the first lesson for me, I think, is to trust what's coming from me, to trust myself,
Big one.
to really being able to rely on myself and have that faith and trust that I can, no matter how reality, this earthly reality looks like. Um, being born in a family where I did actually feel a little bit, not with everybody, but many, like an alien, um,
Oh, yeah.
growing independence, but also having courage to step outside of the box, finding my own way in this. Um, and I think that one of my traits that I do have, I'm extremely stubborn, but I learned to channel my stubbornness. You call it tenaciousness, right?
Yeah, well, it's both.
Yeah. Uh, to use it in a way that is going to be constructive for myself, right?
Yes.
And not feeling, stepping into victimhood because of feeling like an outsider or being not like everybody else. I've never been like everybody else in my entire life.
No, no, not at all.
No. And also having the courage to, you know, sticking the nose out there, talking about these things,
Yep.
being of service, being a healer, um, helping people, being of service to. to humanity in whatever way it is. And that is not a fixed thing. That changes sometimes with the time we're doing it, right? But that's
Hmm.
normal. So also not uh, maybe also less than feeling comfortable within change because boy, I've been going through changes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes. It's. I feel that when we are given these opportunities, I know both you and I take them, and we try them on, and we play with them, and we really sincerely want to uh, learn from them. But we don't dissect them to the point that there's nothing left, as I was saying before. But we go, okay, this is bringing me a new perspective. This is bringing me a new opportunity, and let's let's try it out. And that's where our tenacity comes in, because we just go, we're gonna hang in there. We're gonna get it done.
Exactly. There's no turning back here.
Right.
So, next question. I feel that this is an interesting question. It's very big, it's deep. Um, so, how do the cycles of nature, birth, death, renewal, mirror the idea of reincarnation?
Oh, that is really, really, really deep and profound. Because if you watch nature, how it knows that it's going to thrive in the summertime or in its season of thriving, and it knows it's going to cease to exist and go into hibernation, so to speak, like with the trees. And all of those beautiful green leaves that it took all summer growing are going to fall off. And a human going through that type of a change would go, well, this is getting really boring. I mean, I can't get anywhere, because every time I'm ready to get, I've got my beautiful clothes on, and then all of a sudden I have to take them all off again. But with it comes such synchronicity, and there again the flow, and the birth and the death and the renewal. Each time we come back in a new incarnation, we are eager to try our new selves out in the world. And we also bring an invigoration to those around us. So I think that this is, birth has been given to us so we can stay in that cycle, in that wonder. And
Yeah,
I do feel that this is how they were able to say, well, we're noticing that people are having different experiences and remembering people. So perhaps when they die, then they go back, and somehow that soul stays alive, and then they come back in a new body. And I think that's how it was able to turn into reincarnation, because they noticed that there was a familiar essence to it. and
yeah,
um, and then it became something that made a person feel secure, because if it doesn't work out, I'll see you in the next lifetime, you know.
exactly. And I had people telling me that, by the way, and it's kind of interesting. And people who claim that they don't believe in these things. So
Oh, I
it's
know.
interesting. People tend to say a lot of things, but you can say also, um, what a wonderful, the thing with birth, right? If we think of coming here to this, but anyway, anywhere where the soul would go, it would be a birth somewhere.
Hmm.
But it
Yeah.
gives us also, we don't always have to come back here. We can go wherever we would like to in the universe.
Well, here's something to ponder. What does it feel like in the soul waiting room when a soul pops back in and says, "I'm back"? What happens on the other side? Oh, darn, Joey's here again. What are we going to do? Well, he's got to reincarnate soon enough. I mean, so if you want to bring humor into it, what happens when you pop back in the waiting place? And
Yeah.
so, I mean,
I think that many good things happen. First of all, you you meet up with a lot of souls that you haven't seen maybe for a long time, right? Because now you can talk to them, you can see them, and maybe you felt them. It depends on your senses, if you are denying your senses while you're here, or if you are open, right?
yeah,
Um, but I also have a feeling, and this is probably for myself. Yay, I'm back home, I'm back home, I'm back home.
yeah. And that can be so familiar that it's not like it would be more like when we leave to go to the grocery store and then we come back. You've just gone out and you've gotten a new you bought a new outfit. Well, that looks nice. What are you going to do with that? Well, I'm going to use this for a while, but I won't need it when I go, to Venus because it's a little warmer there. But so I love to. It helps sometimes to take things that are really could be overwhelming and put them into simplistic versions.
Yes,
That does not
yes.
mean that they are simplistic. That just means it gives you. I think it takes the fear away, uh, and goes, oh well, it's just a matter of doing X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Last question. What steps can you take to nurture your soul and embrace the possibility of its eternal evolution?
Do you sit up all night and just dream of these questions, or do they just pop into your head spontaneously?
They pop into
These,
my head.
well, you know, these are amazing questions. Um, and yes, I am doing everything I can to assist this soul on this journey and to do as much as humanly possible. I throw that in to allow me to have this experience. So I'm going to be really able to move into whatever place I need to go next. And I am so excited about each place that I go and the possibility of continuous evolution. Well, I've been doing it for so long. It's not unfamiliar with me. It's not like, what if this is going to happen? It's, where am I going next? And uh, goodness, if Earth gets itself together and gets it moved into the fifth dimension, goodness, I may go play out on the other side of the galaxy and go play on another galactic realm altogether. I don't know. But it's exciting.
It is exciting indeed, right?
Hmm.
Um, it's um, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So, my beautiful cosmic sister, do you think that we are ready to wrap up?
Well, I don't know if I could handle any more of your questions, so I think I am ready to wrap up. These were brilliant questions. I am really glad that you're adding the questions at the end, and hopefully people will actually write these down and spend some time playing with them, and look for your own answers. Look deep inside. Look into your true ideas, not necessarily other people's comments. And they really make you think. I tell you, it's like, oh, there's going to be a
They
test at
do.
the end.
I actually wrote them in the live chat, so they are there. And I'm going to
Good.
see if I can put them in the comments after as well, because we want you to reflect on things. We cannot walk the path for any one of you, but we can be here as light bearers, as the inspirations, as someone who maybe a little bit, tiny little bit opens the door for anyone who wants to explore something, right? So
Yes.
today we have been talking about cycle of souls, unraveling the mystery of reincarnation and our continuous return. And we are cosmic sisters, and Corinne, and we have been walking this path for a very long time, very long. But we
Yep.
love it, and there's no turning back.
No.
So as we draw this episode to a close, take a deep breath and a moment to sit with what we've uncovered. Listen to yourself. What's coming up for you? You can also have a notebook. Write it down. Anything that comes, right?
Yes.
The idea that our souls are part of an endless cycle isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a mirror reflecting the patterns we see in nature, in relationships, and in our inner evolution. Sorry. But do we really have to come back here, or can we choose not to? That is the burning question for today, right?
Hmm.
My perception, we can pick and choose. Perhaps you're walking away with more questions than answers.
Great.
That's good. That means you're alive, curious, and awakening to something profound. What if your dreams hold echoes of past lives? What if your deja vu isn't coincidence, but a soul memory stirring beneath the surface? What if, right? In a
Hmm.
positive way.
Yes.
Whether you believe we've been here before or are just beginning to explore the possibility, you're a part of this journey now and it's far from over. Thank you for joining me and Corinne and on this chapter of the cycle, because this is also a chapter of the cycle. Be
Yes.
kind to your soul, trust the rhythm, and remember every end is a doorway back to the beginning of something.
That
Cycles.
is correct. And every Tuesday night during our open heart meditation, these are questions that we ponder. Um, because part of the after the meditation, and we're in such a receptive mood and such an heightened reality, that you can handle these questions from a whole different perspective. So
Yes.
every Tuesday night at my center, I would love to hear from you, and you have all my information, and you put it down so brilliantly, and I can't even get past the left, the right, the slash, the dot. I'm still, a little bit, you
Okay.
know, out in
That's
the woods.
okay. That's okay. I say it. So you can find Kareen at liquidenergyhealing.com, or you can call her at 480-250-1815,
Hmm.
or you can email her at lqenergy@yahoo.com. Okay?
Thank
And
you.
also find her at angelplaceonearth.com/Corinne Mooney. Okay?
Fantastic.
Yeah, you are all over the place, and I love that.
Yes.
So you can find all our past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. And our next upcoming show here with me and Corinne is going to be next Wednesday, July 23rd. And we will talk about embracing illumination, the journey of reaching the light. Hmm, another intriguing topic.
Wow.
So, and again here, you can connect with us, find upcoming shows, past episodes, read articles, and much more. Find Corinne, find me at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. That is like, it's like an umbrella where you can find your next step. And angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. And we do now always go live at youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams. I've been really a star on this one. Dash
Yes.
slash.
Yes.
And, and we say thank you for watching the Cosmic Sis-Stars show and see you soon. We see you. We love you. We appreciate you.
Yes. And we do. We see you and appreciate you. And remember to laugh. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Because it's all a
And it
glorious
is,
journey. Yes.
it is, it is.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.